Long time no see. How you doing?
Yeah, long time. How's things?
Good. You look older. So do I probably. What are you up to today on the off day?
Not a whole lot. Just had to go into the rink a bit this morning. That's about all.
Okay, cool. Let's hop right into her. Rookie sensation. Calgary Flames forward Connor Zary joins us now. Yeah, what's an off day look like for you in general?
Not a whole lot. Usually get up in the morning, kind of it's a lot slower pace, and then get out and do something during the day, no matter what it is, maybe run a couple errands or whatnot. But other than that, it's pretty slow pace compared to the other days.
Is there a significant other in your life at this point, or are you rolling solo?
Yeah, I have a girlfriend and she's kind of back and forth through Saskatoon right now, so.
Gotcha. Before we talk hockey, are you an NFL guy? You got any Super Bowl pick for us, or anything about these weekend games you're gonna be watching?
Uh, I like watching NFL. I watch quite a bit, but I don't really got a team or anything. So I'm kind of just more a fan of the players and one of those things. But I don't know if I really have a pick.
You have a
It's tough.
favorite player?
Uh, no, not really. I'm just kind of a fan of all the studs. But I kind of hoping Buffalo beats KC just to kind of get some new teams moving forward into the later rounds here. But that's about all I got for you.
Okay, I like that answer. Great answer. Let's talk about last night. You appeared to have tied the game, and your goal was called back. Just your thoughts on the call and what it's like to score a huge goal and have it kind of taken back in that situation.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think I was talking about it a bit. And it's the first time that's happened to me, and obviously it was really close. Like one of those things that you couldn't really see with the naked eye. It barely touched off Coleman's glove there. So that's always a tough one. Especially it's never happened to me in my career before having a goal called back because of a challenge like that. And it's obviously it sucks. It's not like it was just a first period goal where it's like, okay, we can kind of figure it out. It was just pretty late in the game, and to tie it up, it sucks. You can't really control it, and it's obviously pretty unlucky that it ended up going off Colsey's glove, but it is what it is.
Outside of the loss last night, how do you assess the season so far? Why don't we start individually with you? 22 points in 35 games in your rookie season. What can you say about your first year in the NHL?
Yeah, it's been good so far. I think it's been a learning experience, and there's been some ups and downs, but I think just trying to come to the rink every day and be consistent and try and learn from games before other guys or little video clips. I think just little things you can pick up on day to day and things to kind of improve your game. Obviously, it's a tough league and those are the best players in the world. So I think every day you can try and improve on something and try and find something new to kind of move your game forward a bit.
Are you still in the pinching yourself stage at all? I mean, is there any moments where you're just like, man, I'm living my dream here finally, like I'm in the NHL, or can you not even think about that right now?
For me, it's kind of just been it may be a bit like that for the first couple weeks, but now it's just kind of become hockey. I think once you get to that point where you realize you can play and you can be here and I think just makes you kind of want more and it kind of makes you hungry. I think then you know what, maybe it's the first time you have a bad game or something like that. It makes you want more and know you can do more and know you can and put more out there. So I think for me, it's just kind of become sort of my life and wanting to kind of improve every day and not be satisfied with just being here. It's trying to be here to be the best player I can be.
What's the highlight of the season been so far?
Uh I think probably obviously the first game stuff was cool, but if not that, I'd say we had the dad's trip last week, and that was pretty special for me and my dad, and I'm sure everyone and their dad and mentor, or grandpa, or brother, whoever was on the trip with them, it was pretty special.
Your dad is Scott. I actually spoke to him
Yeah,
years ago for a story. He's a police,
yeah,
I believe.
yeah.
What any stories you can relay from him about what that experience was like for him, or maybe you and him together, kind of doing that together?
Yeah, no, I think it was just awesome overall. They had a couple alumni. They had Colin Patterson and Lanny McDonald kind of chauffeuring the dads around, taking them out and about around town, and then taking to the games and stuff like that. And then just to have them around on the plane in the hotel and in the dressing room and at pregame skate and whatnot during the meetings and everything like that. That was pretty cool. And something to share with him. I think that's not something you get to do every day. And it was definitely pretty special.
It's not something you get to do every day to play Connor McDavid in ice hockey. And you're
That's
doing
right.
that tomorrow, right? That's a Battle of Alberta. What's that like? What's it like to match up against Connor McDavid?
Yeah, he's obviously an all-world talent and a special player. You see what he does out there day in, day out, and yeah, it's something you can't really match up for. You just got to try and contain and do whatever you can to make sure we stay to our structure and every line's going and we do our best to keep him out of the game and I think that goes for all those guys. You got the McKinnons, the Kucherovs, and all those guys who are top elite players that you can't really let into the game or let them have a sniff. You last night you give Matthews a couple inches and he has 3 goals. So it's one of those things where you just got to try and contain and for us, I think the more we can play in the offensive zone and pressure them to defend us is what stops those guys from doing what they want to do. So I think that's what we can do.
Yeah, and guys like Pettersson with the Canucks. I wanted to ask you about the Canucks. Are you surprised? I mean, a lot of people are surprised with where they are. I mean, are you surprised at all with their team and where they are in the standings?
I think I don't think I'm surprised. I think you kind of you come into the year, everyone, analysts, whatnot, has their own predictions, but a lot of times it just comes down to how groups start to gel, and sometimes that happens right from the start of season, sometimes it happens midway season, and sometimes it clicks right away. So I think sometimes it's not just looking at a team on paper and saying, oh, they got the best team, they're going to win the Stanley Cup. I think it's looking inside the locker room to what type of guys are around and not just speaking for the Canucks in general, but I think any good winning team, winning culture, you have kind of a brotherhood inside the locker room and guys who want to be there and win every game and that's what you want to try and build. And obviously that's the Canucks have had success in the first half of the season and they're obviously a really good team. So I think that just kind of goes towards any winning team, any winning culture, whatever every team tries to build to be a Stanley Cup contender, that's what you need.
Cool. Just wanted to switch gears to the Blazers. A few Blazers questions. You can be on your way.
Sounds good.
Harking back first, 2018-19. That for me is when you really announced yourself 17-year-old season. The end of that season, those games against PG, yourself and Jermaine and Garand, and that was kind of like the rekindling of the love affair with the Blazers and this city too, and that play-in game. What do you remember about that time of your career?
Yeah, I think our first year we were pretty up and down, and we weren't totally consistent. And I remember that we missed the playoffs and everything like that. And I think it was kind of time to turn that around, and I think we started to figure that out in the next year and moving forward, and obviously at the end of that second year being able to play in those meaningful games, and then that play-in game was pretty crazy. That's something that doesn't happen very often, where two teams are playing in a winner takes all one game to make it into the playoffs, and it being Kamloops versus Kelowna is is another cherry on top. So I remember that game being pretty cool and pretty special and something that y'all remember forever just because it never really happens. But yeah, I think that then moving forward from that year, I think those last 2 years, my 18 and 19-year-old year, we obviously had exceptional teams with exceptional talent and high-end goaltending and coaching and whatnot, and we were probably ready to make some damage in the postseason, if not be a team competing to win it all in both those years. So obviously it was pretty tough the way that my junior career kind of went and ended like that with COVID and everything, and that sucks. I never really got to play that out, especially with the teams we had in those last 2 years. But it's something that I'll cherish forever, is being able to be part of the city of Kamloops and part of the Blazers.
Well, that was my next question. I wanted not the bubble season, the season before that, when you guys were rolling and then the pandemic hit and you got cut off. How good was that team? I mean, looking back now, how good was that team and how much damage could you have done, do you think?
Yeah, 100%. I think we're unreal. I think we we were so good and we were so deep. I think even Stanky, I think, we started that season playing on the third line or whatever. So I think that shows just how deep we were to kind of start that year in junior, and obviously how our team grew and how we were adding at the deadline and whatnot, and then for it to kind of all come to an abrupt close. I think we were right near the top of the Western Conference when everything ended. So yeah, that was definitely a tough one, especially, we were winning the BC division. We were ready to go on those long runs, but it just didn't end up happening.
Anybody in particular you think about as far as coaches that helped your game a lot when you were here? Anybody stand out in particular?
Yeah, I think all those guys helped me a ton. Obviously, in my last 2 years with Cluey were huge, and the little things he taught me, and just more towards kind of mentoring me to become a pro hockey player and what it was going to take, and how I had to play, not so much just like the days in, the days out. It was the little things, the little details that I need to take to play at the next level. And I think he was huge for showing me that. And then I think just having those other guys around like Chris Murray and stuff like that, I think he was there all my years, and the little tips he had brought to me and always showed me and just talked to me, and just being around and being a good guy and funny. And I think those two guys for sure helped me a ton. And then especially, you got Toledo. He's been there forever, and he's a guy I know that's kind of a little, you wouldn't think, but he taught me a lot of things, and having him around, I think that made my junior career even better and even more special. Just getting to become friends with him, and always having him around, and uh, just, it's one of those guys you may not see. He's not going to be in the headlines, but he's always a guy in the background making things better. So I'd say those guys always helped me, and obviously everyone else that was around always was there to me to support me and make me a better player.
Yeah, speaking of friends, last one before I let you go, Kyrell Sopotyk, you are one of his best friends, and we all know what happened. But I want to ask you about what's happened since then with him. I mean, last summer he goes and wins 3 gold medals at the Canadian Track and Field Championships. What can you say about his journey, and what do you make of what he's done since the accident?
Yeah, he's obviously he's the same person, right? And nothing's really changed, and he's always been such an amazing athlete. I forget who I was talking to this about a little bit ago, but he's always been such an amazing athlete, no matter what it was growing up. So you knew he's gonna do great things, and he has been doing great things. And those gold medals and everything he's doing with the track stuff and the basketball and everything like that has been pretty cool to kind of see from afar. And just know that he's always gonna be doing great things, and that's pretty cool to see.
Awesome. Who's your billet family? Did you have one billet family when you were here?
Yeah, I was with Les and Val Davidson when I was there the whole time.
Okay, lucky guy. All right,
Yeah.
man. Thanks a lot for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thanks for having me.